The episode that I'm going to give you is not about feelings. It's about facts. And the fact is, we've normalized this double standard where punching down is now called progress as long as the target is white people, especially if he has a Y chromosome. Today, I'm naming names.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country.
White men represent 30% of the population, but 62% of office holders.
Do you know what percentage of Congress is white? 75%. White Americans make up 60%, 59% of the US population, 75% of Congress.
AOC thinks Elon Musk is dumb.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met.
We did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him.
Then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
Find the colors, find the light. In the gray, we'll find our sight. Brutal banner, fierce words, shadow streets look hurt.
Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and I'm here to bring you raw conversations about life and those undeniable human truths. We dive into the chaos, one issue at a time, blending comedy, controversy, and the unexplainable. Get ready for transparent ideas straight from the gray areas where most answers are hiding. So stay curious, stay inquisitive, please stay laughing, stay in the gray. Come check it out. We'll see you there. Hey guys, it's May the 12th. Hope you all had a wonderful Mother's Day. I know I've got quite a few in my life that mean a lot to me. And although it was a long day celebrating them all, I feel very blessed to have them in my life. So thank you to all the mothers out there. Today I'm gonna have some fun, like I like to do. There are some people in government that piss me off, as we all know. There are people in the media and people on television who have these platforms, and they shouldn't, and they piss me off. And I'm gonna talk about a few of them, and I'm gonna give you examples. I'm not gonna just spew nonsense. I'm gonna tell you why the things they said, and why this is a huge problem in our country right now, and why these are the people that we need to be condoning. These are the people we need to be condemning, not condoning. It's been a long day. So, how about this? Racism in reverse? Nope. Just racism. There is no reverse. We need to get that in our thick skulls. So, let me get this straight. If somebody tweets something mildly offensive about any non-white group, they're fired, banned, they're basically offered up as a sacrificial lamb to the church of woke repentance. But if you insult white people, specifically white men, you get retweets, CNN invites, probably a book deal. And for the longest time, I let it go, and I just kind of said, whatever, you know, I'm proud to be a white man. This country was founded by white European settlers. It just was. You don't have to like it, but it's true. But at some point, this is getting damaging, and it's the reason that we're divided right now, in my opinion. The episode that I'm going to give you is not about feelings. It's about facts. And the fact is, we've normalized this double standard where punching down is now called progress as long as the target is white people, especially if he has a Y chromosome. Today, I'm naming names, 5 of them, well, 6 of them to be exact, and we're burning the script that says racism's only real when it doesn't involve white skin. These people really piss me off. I try and look the other way. Like I said, it builds up. But I should be happy, because if they keep doing this, they're going to continue to lose, and they're going to start to fade more and more like they already have begun to. This country is now awake to this. If you haven't noticed, then just take a look at the election. Take a look at pushback on some of the people that I'm going to talk about today. This narrative is ridiculous. And again, maybe I should just laugh about it and let them dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. So join me. Tell me how you feel about these people. And you know what? I challenge you to give me some more. Give me more of these people, these quotes, and these things that are being said. And I'll toss them all right under the bus. In fact, maybe I should do a show once every month, just round up these people and call them out. My platform may not be as big as theirs, but we got to start somewhere. So let's roll. Probably the one that gets me the most riled up. And I hate to say that because each day it changes, it seems. Let's talk about Ilhan Omar. I like to call her the brother banger because it's on record as fact that she'd married her brother to get into this country. I don't know all the details, but I know enough. She's a Somalian woman and she's a representative, I believe, in Minnesota. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of those states with an M, way in the north. And she's overseeing a group of people that are like her, if you will, and that's why she continues to get elected. She once said the following: "We should be more fearful of white men because they are causing most of the deaths in this country."
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
When you hear it from me, it might not sound as bad as when you hear it from her. But she's just factually incorrect, number one. Number two, what is this narrative trying to push? What is she upset about? The context would be that people are upset with maybe Muslim extremism and that she felt defensive. But to sit here and lie, to twist your narrative, to fit your narrative, is absurd. And you're throwing quite a bit of us under the bus when that's not the smartest politically. She bases this brilliance on an ADL report that says white supremacists committed 78% of extreme-related murders. Extremist-related murders. That sounds scary, sure, until you realize that extremist-related is code for a tiny slice of the homicides cherry-picked to support her narrative. Meanwhile, the FBI crime stats show violent crime is spread all throughout demographics, as we all know. And guess what? Most murders are not extremist attacks. They're just murders. Do you really want to get into the statistics of those murders? It's probably not smart. And while she's lecturing Americans about dangerous white men, she's publicly downplaying terrorism with quotes. When she was talking about 9/11, she said, "Some people did something." Yeah, a bunch of people killed 3,000 Americans in a terrorist attack. The downplaying of something as significant as 9/11 to our country is a slap in the face of every American. She doesn't understand this, and people just let her say it, and she just continues to spew this bullshit. The problem is she's not stupid, as much as I want her to be. She knows that this plays to her base, it gets them all riled up, and it vilifies a group, it paints them as the threat, and then she acts surprised when people call her out for this. Like, so this is the problem. See how they're treating me? They're calling me all these things. It's a game that she plays, and it's one that she does pretty well, to be honest. But until we call her out, she's going to keep going. Even James Carville, anybody that knows that man, he's a staunch Democrat and doesn't hide that at all. And he's, I think he was on CNN for a long time, bald-headed guy, very blunt. At least I respect that guy. He has his views, and that's it. And he doesn't maybe like what the Trump administration's doing, but he's not sitting here he's not kicking and screaming about every single little thing. His opinion is the following: this rhetoric by Ilhan Omar is political suicide. Well, James, I tend to agree. Keep calling out 31% of the country, white males make up 31% of the country. Keep that in mind. Call them out for some sort of population, call them out for being some sort of fake radicalized group, and then hope for the unity that surrounds pointing the finger at us, the white males. Bold strategy. Let's move on. Let's move on to my next target. And her name is Jasmine Crockett. She is shot up the ladder of the people that annoy me the most and the people that piss me off the most. And you know what? I know she doesn't care, but it's embarrassing that she's a representative in my city, not just my state, but she's Dallas affiliated, and she's an embarrassment. And this city does not like her as a whole. I promise you that. Jasmine Crockett is like an algorithm for viral outrage. Just wind her up, drop in the words white men in a sentence, and boom, there's your MSNBC segment for the night. It really seems like that. Her line is this: white men are the minority. Who would like to tell her? White men are the minority, she said, but they hold the majority of power.
White men represent 30% of the population, but 62% of office holders. These are the issues that we are constantly looking at and recognizing and trying to say, is this just?
It's cute. Let's actually do the math. Jasmine, white people make up 71% of the population. White men, 31%. All men of color combined, 18.5%. It's not even close, Jasmine. You're not even fucking close. You say shit like this, it's not true, and then you get people that don't take the time to look it up, and they sit here and believe your narrative. And those people are stupid too, to listen to you. But what are you trying to do? The minority has most of the power? No, the vast majority has the majority of the power. That's just the way this country is. You're like to throw out that you're getting your wish, and that the white population will be the quote unquote minority by 2045 or something like that. We'll see. I mean, that may be what you're waiting on. So no, Jasmine, white men are not some tiny overrepresented secret society running the world. They're just not. They're the largest demographic group in the United States. Period. There's no debate. So you can't just spout off those falsities, Crockett. You'll scream about white privilege in one breath and then hop into a car paid by your campaign donors and go home to a private school pedigree that you pretend that you never had. You're consistently talking about your lived experiences, but yours sounds more like a luxury experience. You were not scraping by in the hood. You were breezing by in classrooms with AC in private schools. You are oppression cosplay, but not a very good actor. The media eats it up because nothing says progress like a woman shouting about fake numbers and imaginary enemies that she doesn't have. Again, I hope that you're just a blip on the radar and that you go away because the city of Dallas is embarrassed. Let's move on. Oh, my favorite. We all love her. The bartender herself, Mrs. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think I got that middle name right. Whew, my girl. Bartender extraordinaire. Where do we even begin with her? It was hard to choose, but I chose this. She's on record saying that Congress looks too white and too male.
Do you know what percentage of Congress is white? 75%. White Americans make up 60%, 59% of the US population, 75% of Congress. Men are 50% of the population and make about 70% of Congress.
First off, how do you look too male? I mean, it's males. I don't know what looking male means, but let's go ahead and humor her. She said that it resembles a segregated workplace and it upholds a system of oppression. So she's mad that too many white guys got elected democratically by voters. You know, the thing we do in free societies, this democracy that the left wants to preach about. If someone said there are too many black women on the committee, they'd be fired before the sentence was even finished. What if I said, there are too many black men in the NBA? Now, after the laughter subsided, because I'll admit that in the NBA, black players are better than white players. But that's the point. It's merit-driven. There's no difference in the NBA and what she's talking about. It's merit-driven, and there's... How about we stop looking at color, AOC? AOC makes me take more deep breaths than anybody. She wants equity of outcome, not opportunity. That's what I was basically saying. It doesn't matter who's the most qualified. You just filled in the identity bingo card and call it progress. This is the same woman who cried in a photo op next to an empty parking lot, if we remember that, and she said it was trauma. She's less of a politician and more of an Instagram brand, doing political cosplay with captions like, democracy, but make it fashion. And she also stated that Elon Musk wasn't a smart businessman. I'll give you a moment for that one. Does she even know why? AOC, do you even know why you don't like Elon Musk? Do you have a clue? Do you know how stupid you sound calling him dumb? He is arguably, as far as I know, the wealthiest man in the world, and the things he's accomplished in life compared to somebody like yourself, it's beyond me. You don't have to like him. But don't say something like he's not smart. He's just silly. Maybe you just secretly have a crush on Elon.
AOC thinks Elon Musk is dumb.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart.
All right. I'm going to move on from the lovely AOC. There's too much with her. This next one's very difficult as well. I'm going to try to keep it short. Let's move on from politicians to a show on television called The View. A lot of you probably heard me say that just now and cringed or clinched. Some of you, if you like The View, were like, "Oh, here we go. Don't say anything bad about those cackling hens." That's what I call them, because they are. I'm going to lump them all together because why not? It's all one and the same. We'll start with Sunny Hostin. I believe it's pronounced Hostin, however the fuck you want to say it. I don't care. It's Sunny. How about this? She says that Donald Trump won the election because of uneducated white women.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him.
Well, how do you feel about that, white women? By the way, who are another large chunk of population in this country. So keep calling out large chunks of population. It's not going to work for you. I love it, but what are you thinking? Of course it's white women, because they don't vote how they like, how she likes. They must be too dumb to understand democracy if they disagree with the brilliant Sunny Hostin. Flip it around. Imagine a white man saying that black voters only vote how they do because they're uneducated. Maybe it's true to a point with some black people thinking that the Democratic Party has their back. However, no one's going to say that. That would not be smart. Have you listened to Sunny talk? You know, Trey and I did a show a long time ago about how she was claiming that she deserved reparations, yet she's not even black. She's half white and half Latina. But because she kind of felt black, and it was a clusterfuck. Trey and I were like, this woman, the wheel's turning up there, but the fucking hamster is dead. There's nothing running that thing up there. Which leads me to Whoopi Goldberg, another one of these. I will give you due respect for the movie Ghost. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I thought you did a great job with the character. Sister Act, maybe not so much, but still, a little bit of credit there as well. She said the following: the Holocaust wasn't about race.
Then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
Keep having to give you some time to really process what these people are saying. So, okay, tell that to the Nazis. Nothing screams not about race like tattooing numbers on Jewish arms and sending them into the gas chambers. And after this idiocy, she got a 2-week suspension. And back on the air, like all she did was maybe mispronounce somebody's name. She was back and no consequence besides 2 weeks. I think if there's a conservative show that said either of those things, they'd be fired, banned, digitally erased from existence. But the Views rulebook is simple. If you're woke, you're untouchable. You can say anything. I don't know how this show is still on. I guess there are enough woke, virtue signaling white lesbians out there that maybe the core of their audience, that give them just enough ratings to stay on the air. But if you listen to them, they absolutely make no sense. They blame white people on everything and they call it justice. And then they cue the clapter, oh yeah, from the audience for everything they say. The other day they had Jill Biden, I think, showed up as well, and Kamala Harris on the show. They falsely stated that Trump is having a horrible first 100 days, which is complete and utter bullshit. However, as soon as they said that, the audience clapped. So you're cheering, proactively cheering, for the country to be doing poorly. 100 days has been terrible. All right, that's great. This idea of hating Donald Trump so much that you're rooting against the country is the problem with this country. And until you people fade away, it's going to be hard. But we're doing our best. Joy Behar may be the worst. I decided to stay away from that because that woman, she gets me wound up like no other. At least at AOC, you can kind of look at her and she's whatever. But Joy just cackles and she's just not intelligent, or she is, and she just is just doing anything to push a false narrative because she's desperate, which is what I think all these women are. They get on there and nobody challenges them on the show at all. They've had some people that don't quite think the way they do on the show, and then they just sit there and gang up on them the whole time. Donald Trump Jr. is one I can remember. I give him credit for going into the lion's den, but he didn't put up with it much. But what are you supposed to do? So Joy Behar is worthless. See, I'm all fired up. She's a divider, calling people divisive. I mean, it's pot and kettle. It's the whole thing. She's horrible. So I'm going to move on from The View, but that show, on one hand, I hope they stay on so that people can see how ridiculous the modern day left is. And on the other hand, man, I just want them to go away because I'm tired of hearing it. These women are the problem with this country. So let's go to the last one. Just so nobody accuses me of only ragging on women today, I'll toss a man in there. He might be a beta male, but a male nonetheless. And that would be Mr. Beto, whatever he wants to go by, Beto O'Rourke.
As a white man who has had privileges that others could not depend on or take for granted, I've clearly had advantages over the course of my life. I think recognizing that and understanding that others have not, doing everything I can to ensure that there is opportunity and the possibility for advancement and advantage for everyone is a big part of this campaign and a big part of the people who comprise this campaign.
Now, he's a Texas guy. He ran for the Senate against Ted Cruz. He's done all that. He's the official mascot of white guilt. Like I said, I don't know if this is the best representative for a man in my list, but he's the closest thing on this list. So here's a man who ran for the Senate. He lost. Ran for president. Flopped completely. Ran for governor. He was humiliated. and still somehow convinced that people are begging for more of him. He actually got up at a meeting one time and interrupted our governor to disagree with him. There's a time and a place, Beto, and who do you think you are? We spoke. This state spoke. Nobody wants you. It was not even close. The occasional Beto sticker on a beat-up car is not enough for you to stand up and disrupt government meetings. But Beto once said, "I benefit from white privilege, and I don't deserve it." Well, no kidding. Finally, something we agree on. This guy spent his entire political career apologizing for his own existence. Like some weird mix of Abercrombie and Fitch and a confession booth. He's the only politician who campaigns by telling voters, "Hi, I'm useless and ashamed. Vote for me." He talks like he's auditioning for a TED Talk on how to surrender your spine. This is a guy who once live streamed his dental cleaning. That's not a joke, people. He did that. He filmed his molars and posted it online, as if the electorate was just waiting to see if he flosses or not. He's a weird, weird man. Yeah, if Beto gets any softer, he'll be marketed as a weighted blanket. He does not represent Texas like he thinks he does. He represents what Californians wish Texas was: neutered, apologetic, and fluent in identity politics. That's Beto O'Rourke. So no, this isn't just about gender. It's not all the ladies. There are plenty of men. Chuck Schumer, Gavin Newsom, on we go. I chose Beto because he's close to home. His whole brand is proof that anti-white blame yourself ideology is not exclusive to radical women on The View or in Congress. There's plenty of spineless men preaching it as well. And when they kneel this low for applause, they're not leading anything. They're just obedient mouthpieces for a narrative that only works if the rest of us stay quiet. So I'm not staying quiet. A lot of us aren't staying quiet anymore. After the laughter, because now I've started to kind of laugh at these things, and then I get mad because enough people are running with the narrative, running with the rhetoric, saying, "Preach on, Jasmine Crockett." And if you want to come out and say flat out, "I don't like white people, so Jasmine's my girl, and I wish this country wasn't run by majority white people. I wish it wasn't founded and everything it is today by white people." But it is. And until that mindset goes away, we're going to stay divided. Jasmine Crockett is a representative in our local government. This is not good. Stay pissed and stay loud. That's what I'm saying. So what do we learn? You say anything about white people and no one blinks. Say the same thing about any other group, and you're exiled to internet purgatory. Like I said, it was cute for a while, but the hypocrisy and the rhetoric has run its course for silence. You're seeing it more and more. And it's not racism in reverse. It's just racism with a social justice sticker slapped right on it. This isn't punching up. It's punching safe targets and pretending it's brave. The left used to preach inclusion. Now they traffic in division. And guess what? Alienating 71% of the country might not be the master strategy that you think it is. So yeah, let's call it out loudly, publicly, and sarcastically. Why not? Until they start playing by the same rules that they wrote. So share this, tag the frauds, let them know that we're coming for them. Carry the receipts, like, follow, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Let me know your favorite blowhards out there. I'm serious. I want to do a segment. Comment on either this episode on any of the platforms or any of the reels and shorts that come out from this episode, and let me know which one of these people represents what I'm saying the most, which people that I have not mentioned. There's so many of them right now. I could just read a list to you for an entire hour, but I won't. I might lose some of you if I haven't already. So let me know what you think about that. I really feel like I could do this. I feel like I could do this every episode. If you turn on the TV or you look on YouTube, you're gonna or wherever, you're going to just see this type of like, did she really just say that? What proof? What's driving that? Where's any credibility? Where's anything lets us know? Oh yeah, so that makes sense. What she just said or what he just said. There's none of it. They're talking out their ass, and they're expecting us and the people that listen to just go, oh wow, maybe they're right. It's not going to happen. So keep it up, and I'll see you next time. Love you guys.